Hey guys, I want to go ahead and show you a quick run through if your go-kart's not starting here. There's things you can check to go ahead and get it running. This is a 160 go-kart here. All your go-karts are pretty much going to be the same as this setup right here, the 110s, 90s up to the 400s and 1000s. So what we're going to do first is you got your battery typically located behind the seat. Make sure that your battery connections are actually plugged in correctly. If they are plugged in correctly, check for your key next. If your key is in the on position and you go to start it and it doesn't turn over like that, then you know at this point you still don't have electrical, but make sure your key is at least in that position so you get that out of the way. If you have this is a push button right here. If you have a push button, there's really no problem. However, some of them have an actual switch. If it's got a switch, make sure it's not in the on position, which kills your electrical. Next thing you want to do if it's not starting is underneath this box right here, there's a fuse. Take this box off and the fuse will actually look something similar to this right here. This wire, this is off an ATV, you've got your red battery wire and this connects with the fuse. If you run this wire, it'll go to this fuse. Let's pop this open. If the fuse is blown, take the spare fuse and put it in there. If it's still not working at that point, then you need to check your CDI connections, which will be under here. You've got CDI connection, relay connections. It's just switches. Make sure those switches are plugged in together. The next thing is going to be the ignition coil. Make sure that the ignition coil, sometimes as you're it can easily pop off as you're assembling it or riding it. Make sure these are plugged in right there. If that's plugged in, you need to go ahead and check to see if you have spark. Your spark plug wire, or the ignition coil, is always going to be plugged in to the right side of the motor, and your spark plug is going to be located right there. Pull that out of there, stick it back into the ignition coil, hold the ignition coil up to some point on your frame, and have someone hit the start button. If you see spark on the end of the coil, then you know you have spark. Make sure you don't touch a spark plug, it'll get shocked. If it does have spark, go ahead and plug it back in. And at this point, if you still cannot get your unit to run, you probably have a carb issue. If your carb is not getting gas, and it's not going to start. So make sure that your gas is turned on right here. Run your hose and make sure you're getting gas to your carburetor by pulling this hose off and making sure you have gas through. If you are, then go ahead and put the line back into the carburetor. And at this point you need to turn your gas off because we're going to take the carburetor off. You take the carburetor off by taking these two clamps off right here, popping them off, and flipping the carb upside down. When you get the carb flipped upside down, this is what the bottom of the carb is going to look like. There's going to be a bowl right here. You take the bowl off by taking these 4 screws out, and this is what's called your main jet, and this is what's called your pilot. You're going to go ahead and take both of those out with a screwdriver, and you're going to get some wires, just like a simple little wire that you get off a wire brush. Stick them through there because you might have residue in there preventing gas from going to your motor. Go ahead and clean those out, get some contact cleaner, spray it through there. If you can see through your main jet, then at that point you know that the gas will flow freely through this main jet and the pilot into your motor. 9 times out of 10, if you get a brand new unit, this will be clogged. Any new dealership you buy a Honda from or Yamaha, they have the same problems, but you never realize it because you're buying it already assembled and they've already fixed the problem. If you're getting it shipped to you, then this problem has not been fixed and you'll need to do this to your unit 9 times out of 10. If you have any more problems, it may be a CDI or a relay, at that point go ahead and call us and we can further help you diagnose the problem to help you get running.